Welcome back to Weather Oki. Welcome to another video, and today we're just going to talk about the snowfall that is to come. Big winter storm inside the south, but today we're just going to start looking out with this cloud coverage outlook. At first, you can see that in the Oklahoma region there is a little bit of convection going on, causing some snow. Inside the south, we do have the storm starting off, trying to get that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico started up. Everywhere inside Florida, just getting a little bit of rain. And also, there is a little bit of some lake effect snow going on in Pennsylvania, a little bit that could be going on in Michigan. And just moving forward with that, we are going to look at how these will affect as we go through the day and just really going through the week. So, just starting off, we have all these warnings, advisories, and watches going through the south, which is really rare to have this much, especially in Florida. It's been about 11 years since we've had warnings that low for winter storms. So just looking at it, we can see that this could be an historic event, just already having this many winter storm warnings. In parts of Louisiana, we can see up to 6 to 10 inches of snow. Parts of Texas will get about 4 to 5 inches of snow. And just parts of these counties in Florida, the reason why there is watches is yes, there will be a little bit of snow, but also like the ice that will be forming later as we move forward with that and just kind of look at it. These parts in North Carolina and South Carolina will definitely get a lot of snow. Some counties may even get up to 4 inches in there. And just parts of Georgia, they can really get a lot of snow too. But I think the main factor of the storm will be in the Louisiana area. Now, as for some of the winter storm impacts, we can see that already some extremes warnings will be issued in these areas. Some extreme effects a little bit in these areas in Texas, Louisiana mainly. And we can see that there are major effects that will be moving into this part. Any of the oranges will be moderate and the yellows will be minor, while the rest will be limited or just none. And we can see even in the Northeast, yes, there is a little bit of that lake effect snow causing some extreme. Even parts of the eastern counties of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia, we can see that how much snow they could get already from these moderates. Now, before we jump into this, I do want to talk about what is to come with the temperatures, saying that we do have next week on the rise. Now, as for the 6 to 10 day of next week through the next weeks, we can see that overall there is quite a bit of warm air to come, even in the south. Yes, we are getting this storm, but after that, they are going to get quite warm. In the west, will be warm this week, but moving into the next 2 weeks, they will be quite colder than usual. Now, moving back into this, we can see that the Midwest will indeed be back to warm, and pretty much the whole entire United States will be warm. It's a big change, and everyone will be pretty close to normal as they should be. Now, I do want to point out this as we move forward. The exact time of now, around 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time, we can see that there is quite a bit of below average temperatures in the United States. And really just the entire United States really getting hit by this cold air. Parts of Florida are getting some cold air, but as we move forward with this model, which I'll show you in a second, it was going to change. Now, popping off this storm, we can see it move into Illinois, Indiana, Iowa areas. Just parts of Oklahoma and everywhere else just getting a lot of that cold air. And just continuing on, a lot more of that cold air moving straight into Florida as this storm does develop and get stronger. And the more we go, the more cold it gets. Even parts of southern Florida getting that type of Arctic air moving through. And after that, we're going to go fast here. More Arctic air to sit inside the United States around the 24th, just making its way and just going to sit. But as soon as that ends, we do get a little bit of a heat burst to end off the 25th. And continuing on with that, we can see a little bit of a heat wave moving through the south as these counties all get their bit of the cold. And just continuing on, once again, we get our little heat wave in the central and eastern counties and states. And then finally ending off our February into next month, we can see around the 3rd, all very high temperatures in the United States, and we'll see how that will go as we move forward. Starting off today, we can see quite a bit of negative temperatures, already getting minus 20s in the Dakotas, and even some parts of the north just all really being in negatives, very low temperatures. As we move into the 22nd, which is supposed to be the big part of the storm, we can see all of the south getting in that 20-30s and all those low temperatures. And moving on, we can see that there is a bit of more cold air taking a shot to the north and northeast, and that's going to sit around for a little bit. And really, the big impacts that I can see from this storm is that really when these storms pop off, it's when the temperatures start getting closer to average and a bit where the freezing point does end. So as long as where the snow does get, we don't know how long it will stick. Probably around the Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe some areas into the Thursday outlook. The wind chills, even moving forward with this model, we can see that the places where it was -20 are getting around the -40s, and so as we do continue, we can see that cold air making its way in. Counties that were only 20s and 30s are getting around those 16s, 15s, and 10s, even as close as the Gulf Coast. And I'm not going to stick around this model too long, but we can see this little bit of last shot of air coming near the end and mid-noon areas of the South, places of the Gulf Coast getting -3, Mobile, Alabama getting about 5 degrees. Just continuing on with that, it just kind of fades away slowly on the 22nd, getting a big heat rush into the areas, probably gonna melt that snow pretty fast. And finally, in the night areas, we can see probably in these counties, just the snow will probably stick around a lot longer than the other ones. So just kicking off our day around 12 o'clock at night, we can see the snow starting off, a bit of the sleet, and the freezing rain in some areas. And continuing on with that, we do see that the storm will start spreading a lot more around 9 a.m. A lot of freezing rain and sleet, while the snow in the North and Louisiana counties. And continuing on, we do see that it just sticks around for a couple of hours to days. And even getting this big outlook right here, we can see that the snow will continue on into these areas. The snow does end up getting into North Carolina, all the way down into North Florida. A big sleet storm is possible, so be careful if you're on the roads around that time in the Florida and North Carolina and South Carolina areas. As we move into night, we can see that some other parts of Florida will get their bit of the sleet and ice. Now, as for southern Florida, you're going to get really small parts of rain. And that's probably all you're going to get really from this storm. And continuing on, we don't see much going on. Kind of a calmer system to move forward with until the next of the month. So I just wanted to point this out, but for snow totals, this is just another model. And this could be different depending on how long the snow sticks around, if there will be ice, and of course the melting point of the day. So just in southern Texas, you're getting about an inch or just a little bit of a dusting, and this is all the way up to 4 inches inside these dark blues. And then moving forward into these pinks, you get about 9 to 10 or even 12 inches of snow. That's where I think this big snowstorm is going to get the most of it. In these areas, you probably have the best chance of getting a foot of snow. And really, just continuing on with this, Mobile, Alabama, you're probably getting about 5 inches of snow tomorrow. Anybody in Georgia, probably areas of Atlanta, probably getting about 3 or 4 inches. And moving forward for the North Carolina, South Carolina, you guys are getting about in the coast 3 to 4 inches, while just a dusting or 1 inch in these areas here. So if you do want to keep up with the storm and make sure that you guys get all the information, make sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and just help support me. Comment down below what you think. Give me some suggestions of what you think, and just continue to ride on with this journey. And thank you guys for all you do. See you guys next time.